All right. So good afternoon, everyone. I hope you guys are having a good conference so far. All right, great. That's some enthusiasm there. So my name is Arunesh, Chandra. I work on the Chakra team at Microsoft. And today we're going to talk about some of the project we worked on. We announced this project earlier this year in May about extending Node.js support to Chakra. And we'll discuss some learnings from that project today. The agenda would be, talk about the background and motivation, and generally, discuss some of the learnings and what we are doing about it. Show you some demos, and talk about the roadmap as we see it today. So, just to kind of set the background, Microsoft loves Node.js, and that's true. There are several teams inside Microsoft which today use Node.js in various ways, and it has been kind of going on for several years now. And there are several types of usage. I mean, there are teams which currently are consumers of Node.js, and then there are teams which are using Node.js for, creating tools and services for Node.js developers to use. One of the team I also work on is producing Node tools for Visual Studio. So it turns Visual Studio into a Node.js IDE. We recently released VS Code, which is a free open source cross-platform IDE for Node.js. Not IDE, but it's an editor for Node.js. It has a great Node.js support as well. Their Azure team has also kind of been working on trying to optimize Node.js workloads on their cloud. And then there are teams who are contributing to NPM repository for packages to be used to consume their backend services and stuff. So there's a lot of Microsoft activity around Node.js today. And the part which we kind of want to say is like we truly admire this community and what it has achieved in such a short time. And we kind of wanted to contribute a little bit more. So with that background, let me just get to why we were doing this. So we have a Windows 10 IoT core SKU. And it runs on Raspberry Pi, MenoBoard Max, those kind of popular boards today. And when this SKU was getting conceived, the community, the team had a common understanding around supporting Node.js from the very first day. And we wanted to bring along the Node.js developers with this platform from the very first day. But there was a challenge. The challenge was that the most popular IoT platform, which is ARM, the current Node.js supports the V7 instruction set for ARM. And Windows, on the other hand, supports a newer version of ARM, which is called Thumb2. So the challenge here was how to bring Node.js to this ARM platform, which was not supported by default Node. Windows 10 has started taking, just like V8 as well, but Chakra was already present in Windows and optimized to run on ARM V8, ARM Thumb2. And that became an obvious low-cost option for us to bring Chakra to work with Node. And that's how we got started with it. So what do we do? Basically, you see what this diagram shows is we created a shim which acts like V8 APIs, and it works on top of the Chakra engine so that it routes all the JavaScript calls to the engine, to be served by the Chakra engine. So it's pretty straightforward. And I think and we have been kind of working on this in public from day one. And this is the repo. If you want to go hit the, check out the project, you can check out it on this repo. So I wanted to kind of show you a demo of how this works. And hopefully this demo works, because we were running into some issues before. So what I have is a Visual Studio project created. It has very simple. There's a Raspberry Pi sitting there. It was supposed to be sitting here. I would have shown you. But the Raspberry Pi is sitting here. That's running Windows 10 IoT Course Queue. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this code and deploy this. I'll deploy this on the Raspberry Pi running over there. I'll show it will be straightforward. I'll show you some debugging capabilities as well. Hold on. OK, let me start again. All right. Sorry about this. So what it's doing is we have a Raspberry Pi which is running Windows 10. And we have created a Visual Studio template to work directly with these IoT devices. So we'll take this. Looks like it's running. And so you can see, if there was a request made from the web page, which is running on the device, and it hit the breakpoint right here. You run it, and it's a temperature and humidity sensor, which is attached to the device. And we are reading this right here. So it is, just to show that Chakra was running, and Chakra is powering this web page. And you can run this in the debugger, and you can have an interactive debugging session as well. So some of the learnings we got from this project was the Chakra release cadence. Chakra is an inbox Windows component, and it is tied to the servicing, and the release of Chakra was tied to Windows. And this presented a challenge, because for us to wanting to move at the speed of Node, we wanted to move faster. All right? So over the weekend, in case you missed it, we announced our intentions to make Chakra open source. And that is one way to help to mitigate the problem which we ran into is Chakra being tied into the Windows release schedule. So having said that, the Chakra open source will help us make this Node Chakra effort go even faster, and we can bring in more innovations in a faster pace. So there's a link here if you want to go check out the blog about this. Let me talk to you a little bit about the ChakraCore part. So ChakraCore is a completely complete JavaScript engine similar to ChakraCore, Chakra itself. with two basic differences. The difference is that the private bindings to the browser and the universal Windows platform is not exposed in ChakraCore. And then the other private binding, which is the COM-based debugging APIs, that is also not exposed in ChakraCore. And these two private bindings are very scenario-specific, and that does not diminish the value of ChakraCore in any way. So the other thing we can see here in the charts are that Chakra, and by extension ChakraCore, they are really performing very well on third-party benchmarks. Octane, Jetstream, we are leading with in terms of the benchmark performance there. And also, if you look at the lower chart here, the language compatibility is really high with Chakra, and by extension ChakraCore as well. So the next learning we had was the debugging aspect. And I just showed you a debugging demo earlier. But the console.debugging is OK, but not optimal, especially in IoT scenarios. And then also we learned that the Chakra debugging APIs are tied to Windows specifically. So what we did was we showed you the Visual Studio remote debugger is being enabled for IoT debugging scenarios. And also, we're working on modern diagnostic APIs to replace the COM APIs, which are Windows-specific. And these APIs will be interoperable across different tools and runtimes. So let me talk about a little bit about this demo I'm going to show you. The demo is not all that jazzy, but the part is what the Chakra modern diagnostic APIs are going to provide is going to make Chakra interoperable to your existing tools. I'm going to show you a demo with VS Code. And VS Code is something we just released recently, and open source as well. But you can imagine that this demo could completely also work with Chrome DevTools as well. The exciting part about this is that VS Code currently uses V8 for debugging Node.js projects. And what we did was we just dropped in ChakraCore in VS Code, and it works just like that. So there's no fanciness, but the excitement is that ChakraCore was able to provide the same interfaces and work in the same way. So if you look at this, you have all the step-in, step-out functions here. You can do that. You have locals and closures and everything. You can also have the call stack, which can fetch the code and everything like that. So the part I wanted to emphasize here was that ChakraCore, we are taking the very first steps today to make sure the debugging experience is at least what you guys are used to already. And this is a space where we think we can bring more value going forward. Debugging is a space where we feel that there's a good amount of work we have done. We have skill sets in our team to help do debugging better. So expect more work from us in that area. The third thing is the performance. The way the team looks at performance is we focus on real-world performance more than benchmark performance. And the first chart here is showing the TypeScript compiler and how it behaves with Node Chakra and V8. So when we went around looking for, TypeScript became just, because TypeScript is part of our team as well, and we were looking for a real-world benchmark. And we started testing some workloads. And we saw, and we were pleased with the results. So here, green is on the top chart, the green is Node.js with ChakraCore, and the blue line is the Node.js V8, and lower is better. So we were pleased with this real-world performance. When we tried to run this performance comparison between Node.js and Node.js with Chakra on benchmark performances, the results were not that great. 3 months ago, so if you look at the lower chart, 3 months ago, the orange line actually, so the blue line here in the lower chart shows the baseline performance with Node.js. And the orange line actually shows the performance Node Chakra had 3 months ago. And it shows that there's a lot of gap, and we still had a lot of work to do there. The green line is what the Node.js with ChakraCore performance is 3 months later. So the graph is moving in the right direction, but still we have work to do. What we understood from this exercise was there was differences in the hosting surface, which created some performance bottlenecks in the benchmark metrics we had. And what we want to do here is to continue to make progress on our findings about the hosting surface differences, and we are going to make improvements on that. And secondly, we want to work with the TSC and the community to identify real-world benchmark performances and optimize the perf for that. So module compatibility was the next thing we learned. And what we see is there's some modules, it's not the entire, this is a small subset of native modules, which take dependency on V8 APIs directly. They don't work on Chakra today. And obviously, all the JS modules, they are completely fine. They work just as good as any other. The native modules are the one where we need to do some work. So we have started working with a focus on IoT-specific packages today. And we are going through a list of important packages we identified for IoT and trying to understand how to bring them over to work on ChakraCore as well. We have NAND support to begin with. And another, this is something we want to continue to do going forward, is to work with the community. There's a discussion happening already about how to address module compatibility for the native modules. So we want to plan to participate and contribute to the discussion and whatever is needed to advance those discussions. The last part I want to talk about is the need for multiple engine support inside Node. What's happening is there is a platform proliferation happening. And a lot of new mobile and IoT platforms with resource restrictions are coming up. CPU, memory, power, you name it. And the Node.js currently, as it stands, is not able to address those upcoming platforms. There's a device boom upon us, and certainly Node.js is in a spot to continue to be successful on those platforms. And I believe having a Node.js architecture which can integrate multiple JavaScript engines which are optimized for every specific device which comes along, that'll be a great thing for Node.js as a technology, and the ecosystem can continue to benefit from that. So our approach, Chakra has ways to constrain APIs for resource utilization. And it has an easy-to-port interpreter for source-constrained environments. So there are ways Chakra can be used, which with a very small footprint and things of that nature. And these can be longer-term effort, but there is a potential for Chakra to contribute here. And in that vein, what I want to say is that I'm happy to announce that after the holidays, we are planning to submit a PR to Node.js mainline. And we've been asked by Michael before. It's been several months in the making. But what we did was we have a PR already. There's a link on the slide if you can see that. We have a PR already working, but that PR was, it is not a PR we submitted. It was a preparation towards the PR. So there's a code delta available on our repo, which was supposed to be submitted as PR, but you can go check it out. It was on Chakra, but since the ChakraCore open sourcing plans got accelerated, we are holding back and we'll be instead submitting a Node.js with ChakraCore support as a PR. So that is, that is something we'll be seeing after the holidays as ChakraCore comes along. So the road ahead here is that we'll be, we talked about the ChakraCore open sourcing, mainline, PR to mainline. And basically, the idea here is to work with the community and learn as much as possible, contribute to help grow the Node.js technology. And we have these gaps to fill, which is the diagnostic APIs. We are certainly working on that. And long term, we do want to bring cross-platform support to ChakraCore is very important to us, and it is something is on our roadmap. And we are totally committed for this technology and working in the open. So that is something which you can expect from us, and being a good partner to the community. Having said that, I think that's it.